Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty interesting stuff to go and talk about over here in regards to the differences between the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X over now this 2-year period. Because as of right now, we had a chance to go and see a lot of really small, big changes when it comes to both of these pretty big main said consoles. So when it comes to the PlayStation, when it comes to the Xbox, we're just seeing like it's basically just a different format. We're seeing like more fine-tuned on games, we're seeing more fine-tuned on systems, we're seeing like price changes, we're seeing like exclusives, we're seeing deals, we're seeing MMOs. It's a lot of different stuff. So we're going to talk about this all throughout this video, so hopefully you guys will stay tuned and enjoy. And as well, if you guys did go get a PlayStation VR or are going to get one, leave a comment down below. So if you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. We have the Amazon signups down below, we have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below for bonus follows too as well, and of course all the other links too. So let's go and dive on into the video itself. So as you guys know, the PlayStation X and Xbox have now officially hit their 2-year anniversary. So what that basically means is that, well, it's time for us to go and keep on going and dissecting them and see the big major differences in what they've done. Now, I've done a little bit of a PS5 2-year in review if you guys saw that, and I do kind of feel like we've had some pretty good progress nonetheless, but it's always intriguing to see the differences between the two. So to start off with this, we have the PlayStation and the Xbox Series X 2 years later. Two radically different approaches going on. So the PS5 has built up a robust hardware ecosystem, whereas the Xbox Series X has done the same, but at least for software. And now it's kind of a big thing to note too with the PlayStation VR now coming out, the PlayStation Pro controller, and all the brand new headset line that basically has all been lined up with PlayStation at their inset side. While the Xbox also has various things too, such as you guys know, Game Pass, the Xbox. They also obviously have their own accessories too. It's intriguing to see from that. So this week we both had a chance to celebrate two important anniversaries for the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Have both been out now for 2 years. So generally speaking, the consoles launch in a strong state and have only been getting better in the interim. With excellent performance and robust game libraries, Sony and Microsoft have both produced worthwhile current-gen consoles. What's interesting though is that in doing so, both companies have employed radically different strategies. So with the PS5, Sony has taken a more conservative approach to console gaming, which I think you guys can see. A lot of folks always like to compare it to, say, the Apple of gaming, where it's like they want to make sure it's a consistent, good product that people love with, and it has like a certain like class, a certain luxury to the brand. Well, it also has for Xbox too, which is in the same boat, but more of just for the people, which kind of depends on what you want to do. Both are pretty nice marketing strategies. So when it comes to this one still, we can kind of see that they both have different radically kind of crazy strategies. So as we mentioned, PS5 has had more of a conservative approach, and if you want to play a PlayStation 5 game, you have to buy it at full price and play through it exclusively on your console. The downside of this, though, approach is that buying PS5 games essentially tethers you to a single system for the duration of your playthrough, which is also, I think, somewhat of an issue too, although I think most gamers usually kind of commit when it comes to a game or system. So, but the other side, though, is that Sony has built up a beautiful hardware lineup to complement the PS5, as computing writer Tony Polenko discusses. So meanwhile, the Xbox Series X is more on the optional part of the larger Xbox experience. So basically, if you buy a game, you could also often basically play it up on the Xbox Series X, Xbox One, or even on your gaming PC. And you also don't even have to buy the games at all, as I'm sure you guys know with the Xbox Game Pass. You can download or stream hundreds of games to a console, PC, or smartphone too, with synced save files as they go. Although they haven't added like a big, like, unmissable exclusive, which we always complain about over here too as well. So essentially, Sony has built up a PS5 ecosystem based on the hardware, while the Microsoft has built up an Xbox Series X ecosystem based on software. And while they're both kind of like similar, but they're also kind of different in Dutch. So for the PS5, Sony has historically been a hardware company, as you guys know. Good example, once again, PSVR 2 came out today, or at least the pre-orders. Because of that, it's no surprise that it's taken a hardware-focused approach towards gaming, where Microsoft wants you to play its titles on various devices via Xbox Game Pass. Sony wants you to get a PlayStation to play its games. Yes, PlayStation titles are arriving on PC, but it's also a few years later, and I do kind of wish they would kind of speed up that process rather than like a 2 to 3 year thing. So basically, when it comes to this type of stuff, as you guys can see, we'll probably won't be seeing too much on the console and PC simultaneous release. It does seem like they want to have at least like a 1-year exclusive on the PS5, at least typically, and then they'll probably explore options afterwards. So basically, again, it says Sony's primary goal seems to be more so to sell consoles, and then also sell like proper games on the consoles too to make their money. So Sony's approach is interesting considering how gaming has rapidly shifted towards now digital, and even a PlayStation head, Jim Ryan, says 80% of PlayStation game spending is digital, which always surprised me that they haven't actually made more PlayStation 5 digital consoles though at the end of the day. So according to PlayStation Head, as you guys mentioned, it's a big ratio. So regardless if you want to play PlayStation exclusives, you'll need a PlayStation console. So given how the PS5 has currently sold 25 million units, despite all these issues, they probably have a good strategy. And it does kind of seem like we see more people wanting the PS5 than the Xbox at this point, probably because you actually have something to play, while also you do have a crossover with PC and Xbox too. So as far as they can tell, Sony will continue putting its gaming hardware at the forefront, and they keep saying gaming hardware because instead of the console, basically has other things as I mentioned. So they have the Sony InZone H9 headset, Sony InZone M9 gaming monitor, and they also don't have to worry about compatibility, which I think is smart. As we mentioned too, they have the PSVR, they have the brand new Pro controller, they have TVs like the Sony Bravia, which as you guys know, Sony owns both, and also pairs really nice too as well. So it's almost like as they're pushing once again like an Apple ecosystem to make every product very, well, good. Now also PlayStation consoles have also had a secondary, or in some cases primary, also media centers. So that's a big thing too for the PS2, where they had like the Blu-ray player, and a lot of folks were saying how it's so like fantastic and cheap. The PS3 was also a Blu-ray player too as well, and even is still usable as of today. And then the PS5 doubles as a solid UHD player for 4K movies, and Xbox consoles lets you play BD on UHD discs. This aspect has always been the selling point of PlayStation systems, and I kind of agree on that too. I think even some parents I remember back in the day just got PS2s for Blu-ray stuff. So while they don't necessarily fully know on how much of the hardware focus is going to stay and how actually profitable it is, it does kind of feel like that is pushed more of the Apple ecosystem of having nice, high-quality assets and things all put together. And well, it's intriguing to see because it might just be more of like, I say, a PS5 or Apple TV or a Chromecast or Roku or Firecast. And that kind of would make a lot of sense to have one general huge ecosystem in the future. So they're also kind of saying too, they're going to probably keep a lot more of their traditional approach as well when it comes to this. Now, the Xbox, though, as you always mention, is more on the ecosystem of games. So they more so want to have like a lot of these different things for like not true console exclusives really, because they're also usually day one on PC. Think Forza, think Halo, and probably all the other games coming out too, probably even Fable. So it does kind of take away the approach of just pure console and kind of is more on the pure ecosystem. So TV or cloud or PC or whatever it might be. So basically Microsoft's latest console doesn't have any true exclusive games, as every Xbox Series X title is also available for gaming PCs, or most are still available from the Xbox One. Even when Microsoft starts to phase out its older hardware, however, players are still able to actually go and use things like the Xbox Series X titles to Xbox One titles, or to also then use it for smartphones or web browsers. Basically, the link for that too as well is just Game Pass, which came out in 2017. I'm sure you guys have heard about a lot when it comes to this stuff. And I always want to know, like, do you guys still prefer the PS5 or Xbox between the two? So as the Xbox Game Pass obviously lets you guys go and download a bunch of different games if you pay the $15 a month, and you guys can go have it on all your consoles or PC or cloud or whatever it might be. But they also like keep on pushing a lot for the streaming. So PlayStation really doesn't have a good streaming service, and it does seem like the streaming is a big aspect of Xbox, where the Xbox is probably pretty high up there. I think it's a pretty big deal that people should be focusing on at the end of the day. And I think that's nice. I mean, like, I think I like the idea that they are slowly branching off into their own niches, still making games that are fun, and games that are playable, kind of like how Nintendo does its own thing, but I do like how we're kind of seeing almost like a classy approach versus like an all-for-everyone approach. And if you have both, or like say a PS5 and a PC, you get a little bit of both of everything, which is kind of nice to see. So in other words, they're basically saying they have, basically Microsoft has a huge lowered bar of entry for bid-budget gaming, which I think is a good way to put it, because you don't have to have a $1,000 gaming PC, you don't have to have a $500 Xbox Series X, you don't have to buy a $300 Xbox Series S, you can literally just go and use a TV, because they have some of those built on in, or even a phone too as well, as long as you have all the, like it's all up to date and has good enough specs. So basically they said the arrangements are beneficial for both console gaming neophytes and hardcore Xbox players alike, because it's almost like a happy medium of, yeah, we just pay money, we play games. If I want to play 100 hours, I can. If I want to play 2 because I'm a dad or a mom or whatever, then you could also do that too as well. Plus also they're trying to say and like push the ease, I guess, of everything being put together. So that's kind of a big thing to note, is that it really just seems like the PlayStation's been building up single player games and building up hardware, as we mentioned, like, you know, the headsets, controllers, TVs, while Xbox is more just, hey, we're going out kind of all in on Game Pass. Let's buy out companies. Let's buy out Bethesda. Let's go buy Xbox, let's get Activision. Let's put this all together to go get some of the best games out there, because we want to make sure this stuff is good and it's being done. So I'm kind of giving you guys all like my thoughts, is that it kind of seems like they are kind of hitting their own little niches, but we still have like the same problems of PlayStation's being hard to find, and as well, not really having a really worthwhile PS Plus system, kind of shown with prices going down, or more so prices going up and then users going down, and then Xbox as well too, which is a good ecosystem, but it needs games to kind of complete the process. So it's kind of been a big fun year in review where it does seem like they're both making strides towards their respective goals, but we still could see this being anyone's game as time goes on. So kind of give me your thoughts and comments down below. A lot of the same topics kind of covered too, but make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway, $500 giveaway or Xbox giveaway. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below. We have the Target links. We have the all Amazon links too, and I appreciate you guys all so much for watching here in the first place.